Joining me now is Jon Bey, Chair and CEO at Standard Uranium. Great to see you, sir.
Great to see you as well, Mark. Nice to be here.
Now, we've done this a few times before. A lot of our viewers would know all about Standard Uranium. Many will not. So how about a little snapshot on the company just to start?
Sure. So we are a Canadian junior uranium exploration company, purely focused in the Athabasca Basin. We have 11 projects. Most of those are, ones that we've staked ourselves and we're running ourselves. But we've got a few that we've got under JV with some partners, and we're looking to add a few more.
Now, last time we spoke, you sort of took us through the drilling plan for the summer and the rest of the year. You've started Sundog. You just told me off air it's close to wrapping up drilling there. But prior to that, you found some mineralization, correct? And it helped you define targets, right?
Yeah, so Sundog, as you mentioned, is currently happening right now. We're about to wrap that up in the immediate future. The goal was to do 1,500 meters and 6 to 8 holes, and it's gone exceptionally well. Prior to that, we've had two modest winter programs on Sundog over the last few years. And this spring, we did some geophysics, and we actually did a field trip out there with our VP of Exploration and President Sean Hilliker, as well as with our aero partners, Galen McNamara and Garrett Ainsworth. And we did a few days in the bush, walking around, looking at prospective rocks, found some exciting things, and decided to focus our drilling on one area known as the Wishbone. So we will get to that in an upcoming news release.
All right, sounds good. So we'll have assay results and news releases as we go along. So then with Atlantic, you've called it, and Sean's called it, highly prospective. You also found mineralization in multiple holes, and a fantastic initial result, according to Sean. So, and also he says that you're just starting to reveal what this uranium story could be, right?
Exactly. So starting with Atlantic, that was a program we drilled in Q1 with our partners ATCO Mining out of Vancouver. This was the first ever drill program on this project, so it was exciting for us to get there, get the drills turning, and see what we could find. And as we put out the news release, we got mineralization, radioactivity in every single hole, some decent counts per second, as well as good structure, good rocks, and exciting to line up for year two. So we're looking forward to getting back to Atlantic again. And we've got another region on the eastern side of Atlantic, some smaller claims. We want to do some geophysics and get ready to drill those regions next.
And then Canary, you also drilled as well, the inaugural program. Initial results very encouraging. So give us some highlights there, and also the plans for phase 2 and 3.
Yeah, so that's with our partner Mamba Exploration from Australia. We went up there in Q2. We did our first ever drill program on that one. Once again, we've got great mineralization on every drill hole. We saw some exciting structure, some alteration, good rocks, the kind of stuff that gets you excited to go back and do it again. So phase 2 and phase 3, we want to do some geophysics. Once again, we've got across the whole project, but primarily down the southern part of the Canary project, and get some drilling started there. So that's what's to look forward to with Mamba Exploration in 2025.
And then Davidson River is the flagship. What's the latest on Davidson River?
So Davidson River is our flagship. That is the one that we are so excited about. It's 100% owned by us. We've talked about it in the past. Would we do a JV on that? If we said always along, if the right partner came along, someone that we feel is really strategic and could add great value, we would consider giving up 50% of that project to JV with a partner. That hasn't happened yet. We've had other juniors come to us and ask us to do deals. We've refused. We want to keep that one for ourselves and for our shareholders. We had anticipated drilling that this summer. We were hoping to do a capital raise this spring and summer and go ahead and drill it, but the market's just been too soft to go raise money to do that program. So we're going to postpone it, hopefully come back to that one in 2025.
Tell us about the market as you see it, because you're very close to what's happening. Q1 was hot, we know, for uranium. Uranium stocks, things have cooled off now in commodities in general. What's your view of the sentiment? But also, as you said before, you just need one hole, one discovery, right? And the whole story can change in a heartbeat.
Yeah, so let's take it back even further than that. This time last year, and going into Q4 of last year, the uranium market really picked up. It went from spot price of around $55 all the way up to about $110 as we got into Q1, which was an exceptional run for uranium, to more than double. So that had caused a real influx of new participants, uranium space taking off, lots of new players coming into it, and it was a really exciting time to be in uranium. Now, turn that the opposite direction. Once we got into February, March, it started to go in the opposite direction. Now, it didn't drop to 55, but we're currently set at $81 now in spot price. Long-term price has gone all the way up to $79, which are deals getting signed right now, which is phenomenal. Those two numbers are pretty good, actually. But as we head into in September of this year, we're anticipating the market's going to pick up again for uranium once again. This is when things really start to move in the uranium space. That's sort of September to January space. So we're heading over to the World Nuclear Association meetings in early September, and that's when things really get started. The meetings start to happen. The utilities start to look at new contracts. A lot of deals get done. So we're excited to get back there, and we're anticipating the fall is going to be strong once again for uranium, and we'll see more activity in our space.
All right, very good. And aside from what you've told us already, what else is going on with Standard Uranium?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, we have 11 projects. So we talked about Canary, Atlantic, and then Sundog and Davidson River. The other ones are still there as well. So we're continuing to look for JV partners. We wanted to advance our Ascent project. We've got our Corvo and Rocris, which are the next two advanced. We want to do some geophysics this fall, do some work on those and have those drill ready for 2025. So for us, as a project generator, we're constantly looking for good partners to work with to advance some of our other projects that are non-core for us. And one thing that's unique about Standard is we stake a project, we advance it doing the exploration work to get it drill ready, and then we sign all drill contractors lined up, all the vendors, we get the First Nations contracts signed, and we get the permits in place, and then we look for a partner. So it's a turnkey operation when we meet with partners and we're able to sign deals quickly and get the drills turning. So for us in 2025, we want to extend our current JVs into year 2, find new projects for some of our next phase projects, and work on our Davidson River project. So 2025 is going to be an exceptional, exciting year for Standard Uranium and our shareholders.
John, the last question for CEOs in these interviews is usually what's the investment case, the value proposition. Let me come at it differently. When you're at the World Nuclear Association and you're talking to some big time investors, what's the message? What do you say to them?
Yeah, like you mentioned before, you're one hole away from really transforming this company into something completely different. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to advance all our projects, get as much drilling going on, and have the opportunity to make an economic, high-grade uranium discovery. And that's what we're trying to do across multiple projects. They're getting multiple opportunities to see that drilling, with drilling at least 3 or 4 projects going in the next year, which is an exciting thing for any junior.
All right, great stuff, John.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right, thanks for the update. As always, Jon Bey, Chairman, CEO at Standard Uranium.